Underground dialogue, we gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are. Do we bow? Not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. Underground dialogue, we gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are. Do we bow? Not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. From the industry to the Oval Office, we expose the darkest motives of them all and disclose what the protocol is. Thinking and moving logical, stopping every maneuver possible, and apologizing for truth is not optional. We gon' help you with what you go through, reshape and mold you, and sweep over them weak lies they told you. If you living with no clue, we gon' deprogram the old you, and you get to keep your soul
It's
too.
your big brother K-Reno.
And your boy Key Stove.
We're here once again on another episode of the Underground Dialogue Podcast, where the name speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Tonight, man, we have some individuals in the building. They came all the way down from San Antonio, Texas. They are going to tell you what they have going on and the moves that they are making to make the world a better place, socially and musically as well. So I'm gonna start on my far left with my brother Joel, and let him go down the line and just introduce yourself and let people know what you got going on, my brother.
Man, my name's Joel Hayes, an artist. My name's Joel Hayes, an artist.
You gotta be that close.
Operation 1009. I was just trying to follow the lead, you know what I mean? But I'm an artist speaking up for some stuff I went through as a kid. Found the courage to speak up when I was 27. I'm 35 now, and I found that there's power in encouraging others to find the light inside themselves from the darkness in which some of us have to endure. At the end of the day, that's led me to allowing music to be my outlet. You know, as a natural poet and a writer from a kid, it's turned into something today where, well, that's how we met. You know, with the Hot for Teacher song, and then my brother Bone over here.
What's the song say? Hot for Teacher?
Hot for Teacher. Well, Too Hot for Teacher is what we have. It's the remix for it, and then Hot for Teacher is the original that come through. And we just released that last Saturday, and that specifically was helping raise awareness to the teachers that keep assaulting our children across this nation. You know what I mean? It's like a real big problem. And right there where I live in Comal County, which is just north of San Antonio, 5 teachers were caught in 1 year. And the same year, 350 teachers were caught across this whole country. It's like when you put the numbers on a piece of paper, it's like we're an epicenter. There's a pandemic going on.
Well, let's get the introduction. We're gonna definitely come back to you.
I'm nobody. You know, I go by the name of Bone. I'm here robbing to Joel's Batman on the calls right now.
We gonna get into you too, brother.
He's a lot more than Robin.
Ain't nobody.
I'm about to say, hold up.
Okay.
My name's Andrew Matlock. I met Joel back in 2014 in the trunk of a car when I first met him.
The trunk of a car?
In the trunk of a car, man.
Y'all both happen to be in the trunk.
Hey, you know, I wasn't always just on this path of righteousness. You know what I'm saying? We was having a blast.
I met Joel. I've been helping him, promoting him and a few others, their music, best I can to my possibility since I've been in college, military, and all. And that's about me. I've been helping him so far with the Hot for Teachers and with the music video of the skydiving.
Yeah, that's the parachute guy. So the video, if you look up the Too Hot for Teacher, type in the Operation 1009, go to YouTube, type it in, you'll see people jumping out of planes and shit.
And mostly I've been helping him.
No, we saw it because I got a sports podcast that I do now called Legends 34, and they actually, my co-host on that show played the song that we did.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I didn't know he had even heard it. Yeah,
that's beautiful. Yeah, my guys were over there in Tampa playing it the other day too. I missed it. They were trying to call me. The phones were down, but they played it on the rail. Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you. Amen.
So get back into what you were saying, because everybody see the Save Our Children shirts.
Yeah, because one thing that I noticed without even being said, for some apparent reason, everybody's color coordinated. K's in his black, I'm in my black and white. You're in black and white.
It's a God thing. Yeah. It's a God thing, right? It's a God thing.
But you know the ladies, they gonna do their own.
Supposed to stand out. She's supposed to stand out.
Which is wild, because the other day we were out here and me and my homies was out and we was in all white. You know, so it's, you never know what you might catch us in.
Yeah.
But this is, we fighting for the cause.
Somehow we all got the memo. Yeah, we all got the memo.
Yeah, we didn't plan to coordinate this. Cause y'all know me. If I knew everybody was wearing black, I would probably want something different. You know?
And really, if I'd have thought it through, I'd have handed everybody T-shirts walking up here. I just didn't think the ass sizes and whatnot. So
Now y'all will see me in
know
my
me.
Save Our Children shirt soon, cause I'm a T-shirt fanatic. So
No, we definitely got to
want
get
my
your
shirt.
shirt.
I got you.
And that's something that I try to tell them a lot.
got you.
Like even I did a trail ride, you know what I'm saying, like probably like a year or so ago, and he had the big flag, and he was out there waving the Save Our Children flag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I try to tell him the branding goes as much as it goes for the cause, and trying to alert people to what's really going on just as much. You know what I mean? So we try. And I try to keep him motivated, and I try to tell him, we need to, always wear shirts and always give the
it
shirts
keeps
out.
me
And,
very motivated.
you know what I mean? And just keep it going. Even with like this, I put them on my car and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like just everything matters. You know what I'm saying? Every little thing, just seeing people see it. You know what I mean? You never know if it might motivate somebody to see something and help.
Yeah, because it's straightforward. It's straight to the point. It's like it's something that don't even have to be explained. Like Save Our Children. If it's on the bumper sticker, I'm like, we need to save
agree
our
with
It doesn't
that.
need a lot
Right.
of explanation. There's
If
a
you
lot
disagree with
of
that,
reason.
then there's something wrong with you.
Correct. Or there's a political atmosphere that has you too biased to see through your own colors. You know?
So continue what you was going into.
So that was just the current mission, with the song we had, approaching the teachers, because it's an issue. Like on the way here, 2 more teachers in San Antonio in the last 5 days. It's like we can't, like your own words, pastors and teachers are no longer names that we can trust. And it's unfortunate, but this is the world that we live in. As a child, I was 12 years old, I was assaulted in foster care. And I'm not going to go into details because he asked me not to, but at the age of 27, I spoke up, I found the courage, and the first arrest was an FBI agent. His name's David Harris. And then they arrested the chief of police, Denny Perkins, and his wife, Cynthia. And then they arrested the state trooper, Jason Boyd, all connected to the same CPS group homes I was in as a kid. And you look at it and you realize, these are supposed to be the people you can trust. And now that was 2021, now here we are. I just started putting in the music, now the people are surrounded. I got the majority of the people that helped put me on the charts when I put the music out, they don't even listen to it. They just appreciate what I'm doing. They appreciate the message. Just like you said, it doesn't matter how it's getting out there. We were just at Fuel Fest. We've now got drift cars with the logos on them. We've got parachute teams jumping out. I'm working on getting bike clubs running. Anything you can to make it cool. To make it cool to fight for the kids again.
So you came to the realization that a lot of the corruption that was taking place was in-house.
Man, you ever study etymology?
A little bit.
A little bit, like origins of words.
Just a little bit.
What's the origin of the word government?
Yeah.
Govern means to
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
Ment is of the mind. It's also French for the word lies. The etymology of the word government means to control the mind with lies. I don't trust anything the government's got their hand in. And when you're telling me that there's CPS is like a prison for profit system for kids, man. Like that's the largest child trafficking ring in this country. And at the end of the day, they were supposed to protect me from the addictions of my parents. Which shout out to Freeway Rick Ross. I love you, man. He just did a track with me for my mama. I grew up to I don't even like to say it, but even as a crack fiend mama, you always was my queen mama. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And so it still bothers me a little bit, gets to my soul. And that's where I'm at, because music is very real to me. I don't have the ability to step into it like Big Joe up there in New York and play 95%, false advertisement. It's just not how it is. So.
Well, through all your work that you've been seeing with this initiative you put into, what is one of the factors that makes some of these teachers strike so many kids? Is it like mental abuse, mental health, or what's going on with that?
I think over time you're looking at the results of groomed children leading the way. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I try to look back at what happened. I was used in a video in foster care that I could not consent to, and I think that it was a blackmail video. I do, because everybody kept their clothes on. And when I look at the situations around us, it's like people are trying to get out of something. There's something here. There's a strong push, an atmosphere of, you ever heard of MAPS? The minor attracted peoples that are literally trying to make pedophilia normal. You got people like Mark Zuckerberg. You got people like Mark Zuckerberg jumping like $500,000 a year at these people. That dude runs Facebook. Why is that even a cross-associated thing?
Yeah, let's bring some attention to that. I didn't know Mark was getting down like that.
You
So
know what I'm saying?
Mark
Like,
is helping to fund the pedophilia
MAPS program.
organization.
As of 4 years ago, it was on the
That's
record.
interesting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
part of the
yeah.
write-off that they have to publicly put off every year.
Right.
And that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not, in fact, Facebook was taken to court for allowing child abuse to take place and child trafficking to happen, and not preventing it when they knew that they had records of it happening in front of them.
So they let that go.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
then somebody speak about the corona vaccine and anything, that's immediately taken down.
Yeah, well, I'll get this all shut down and start talking. I don't know how the censors are right now, but part of the reason my name starts with a hashtag is because, well, the FBI put a report out on me the day after they arrested FBI agent David Harris. They don't want me to talk about the story I got.
Well, you know,
I don't want it.
the so-called elites and the so-called rulers and powerful of this world, many of them are involved in that whole pedophilia and child abuse, child trafficking thing. So that's something that I think people who have kind of had their eyes and ears to the world kind of already knew, but it's starting to become more introduced to
More
people who
commonplace.
don't know.
Well, it's more commonplace, and it's
And
understanding.
it's getting to the point where it's like a lot of people don't even believe it because it's like, that's no way.
That's what my man says best in the song. We got to get past this. I didn't see it. I don't know what to believe.
Come on,
you know,
man.
we got to stop that. You know, and it's reached a point where there's such a push to tackle our children in their minds that in certain states in this country now, I could be an abusive parent for trying to tell my child that you were either born a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, in Canada, up there under Trudeau's laws, they're trying to make it to where they can like take your child from you if you don't agree to this transitioning nonsense.
And placing the decision on the child.
And I will state, you know, I don't care what adults do with their lives, and I wouldn't tell anybody to push on people to be people. I don't care if people are gay; it's not a problem. But leave the kids alone.
Yeah.
Stop trying to manipulate the mind of a child at the end of the day, and that applies to religion, government, TV, all of it. Stop it.
Yeah, man.
Stop
I mean, you raised an interesting point. Like I said, they're trying to take the power away from the individuals who gave life to the child in the first place, and that's the parents.
Yeah.
So to tell a child, say, what do you want to be? And they don't know. He's 2 years old. And then Tommy said, well, I want to be a girl. You want to be a boy? I want to be a girl. He don't know what he's saying.
He doesn't know what he's saying.
And then to actually try to impose laws and legislation that would force the parent to have to capitulate to that stuff. It's just the world we live in.
That's a good word,
This
capitulate.
is a satanic world and system that we're under. And those who don't know need to find out, and those who do know need to fight against it. The problem is that that movement is so powerful to where it can affect your livelihood. It can affect
I've
your
already dealt with
status,
the
your
death
position.
threats.
But we can't fear that. We got to still.
I've already
So
dealt with the death
going
threats.
through-
This is the
you've
first time I put my face on camera.
Yeah.
I've been at this for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
And it's just reached a point where, like you said, somebody's got to do the talking. I think it was you that told me that walking in. You know, like it's bad around us, man. It's really bad. So, like right here in Houston, where we are, have y'all heard of the La Luz del Mundo Church?
No.
You ever heard?
I think you showed me.
I
that.
did show you a little bit about it. I want to talk about maybe.
That was insane. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Yeah,
All right,
let's
so Nason, Naason, that's the spelling of his first name. Nason Joaquin Garcia Jr. He leads what's called the La Luz del Mundo Church. He's got like almost 6 million people on this planet that think he's blood relative to Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This dude was arrested 1 month before Jeffrey Epstein. We've all heard of Jeffrey Epstein?
Come on now.
Okay. He was arrested a month before Jeffrey Epstein with 3 women groomers who were all grooming 5 girls, children that came forward.
I heard of that. Yeah.
Well, one of his apostles here in Houston is hot water now too. Now here's the irony of it all. That his private Silver Wolf Ranch that I saw on the way over here today is in my backyard. I've been screaming about this since before Epstein went down, before the Rona, before they shut the world down, before Harvey, before all the other, man, there's names, if we really want to pull out names, it gets kind of wild, how many people have been signed up to all of it. But there's a lot going on. I don't even want to get into it. You told me to stay away from too many of the conspiracies.
Hey man, look.
I start opening up a can of worms that I can't close up, you know. But it's bad, and it's overpowering. We're at a point now where something has to be done, and if we don't speak up as a community and get past the nonsense that's here to divide us, we're gonna be divided.
Well,
and we're staring at the results of it.
I'm one of the people who believe that we are living like Grandma used to say in the last days. So with that being said, the exposure of so many things like this that are so mind-blowing to a normal-minded person, like we can't really fathom some of the activity that take place in this world, like, man, because in our minds, like, I would never, or he would never, she would never, but that's commonplace.
Then you find that it's commonplace. It's just like, as we're putting this film together on the last 2 days of it, or the little music video, I say little, to me it's a big deal, but I don't like downsize myself. Anyways, I shouldn't downsize myself when I talk. That's me working on myself. Y'all seeing that live. So, but as we putting that together, the teacher here in Houston, the Klein, and her son were caught trafficking children out of the school.
Wow.
Out of the school. Yeah. We're in the middle of it. We've already written the song. I was like, just go ahead and throw the last few pieces in there, man. And it's what is wrong? What is wrong? How do we get to it? How do we fix it? How do we stop it? I don't know. All I know is we got to make Fight for the Kids cool again. I know that what I went through made me think that I was gay growing up. And growing up in the projects, that wasn't cool. Yeah. Not cool at all. So we didn't talk about it until I was 27 years old, realized I had raised 2 children with beautiful women that had given me the world and I didn't know how to give it back. Yeah. You know what I mean? But once I found how to own myself, a few years later, I realized my whole life changed. I grabbed power over me again. Right. Then I found other people around me finding their power just because they're watching me walk through it. Next thing you know, we're here where we are today, and I'm like, you know what? Grab the parachute man, grab the celebrity, grab the legend. We're gonna go make this shit cool. Yeah. We gotta make it cool again. Because if I'd have had a community of people fighting for me, or knew there was a group of artists in the group home, because I was listening to Little Flip, I was listening to DMX, I was listening to 50 Cent, and none of them were saying anything about fucking save the kids. None of them. It was all about in the club, this is how we do, and this is how we ball. You know what I mean? Like, I needed something different. The people around me needed something different. So I'm trying to just be who I needed to be when I was 12.
But I'll say this, you know, because a lot of those guys, they may not rap it in the song, but I know, I don't know 50 and DMX person, but I know Flip, you know, he ain't.
Flip is family.
And he's solid.
He's solid. I've stood at schools while that man's done charity events for the kids. And I've stood in long lines to meet everybody to take care of all the kids. No, and don't let me incorrectly say that about anybody. That's why I'm here with y'all today, is to bring that out of everyone. Yeah. This is the king of twerk over here, y'all. Do you understand? This is also probably one of the dopest artists next to you that's ever sat down with me and said, let's do this for the kids.
Well, you know, and I want to talk about the song, because when you came to me and presented the concept to me, I was like, yeah, that's right up my alley.
Yeah, I know.
You know, go in on them cats that's doing that to these children and all that. So I was glad to be a part of the song.
Wow, really great, but I had to put my fan on hold, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're Mr. Grand Deception. You've been trying to tell this shit that I was late to tell the world, that everybody's over here like catching up to thinking they're onto something. I'm like, this dude put it in a rhyme for you, like.
But it's a different lane.
You know what I mean? Like
the stuff I'm on, I never really dove into this lane. You know, you are living this now. You know, I've talked about it here and there on a line or so, but you living this now based on your own experience and all that. We want to bring Bone in to kind of get your perspective on like I say, your connection to Joel and how you got involved, what you think about the song and all that, man. Because you're a dope artist in your own right.
I'm alright, but
it's self-deprecating, man. Gary Harris, man.
Brother right there. Nah, I met Joel, I don't know, after probably, about 8 years ago, Joel?
About 10 years ago, 2015.
Okay.
God to Grind, Baby Savage.
Okay, about 10 years ago. And Joel's one of those eccentric people that, he has a lot of passion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot of passion in a lot of different directions. Right. And, you know, I always try to get him to channel it. Yeah. And when then, I forgot, something happened. I don't know what happened, but something happened, and Joel had came to me with the whole concept as far as like with the kids. It was something he was just trying to do, because since I met him, he would always, every year it would be something, just like one thing. Okay, I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to do this.
He's all over the place.
You know what I mean? He's all over the place. Yeah. And then he came to me with this, and I forgot what it was about, like, or like specifically. And I was like, you know what I mean? Well, that sounds like a good idea, Joel. I think you might need to You know what I mean? Go, you know what I mean? Like you might have found like something that might be, and he really dove into it, really went into it and put his heart into it, and it has really become something that's really like needed. That I personally see. You know what I mean? Just like you said, a lot of people will say lies and say different things to kind of try to bring social awareness, but you know it don't sound good in the bottom dollar or the bottom line when we, you know what I mean, we're creators, we making music, you know what I mean, like I make stuff for the club, you know what I mean, like at the end of the day, so I would much rather wear a shirt or, you know what I'm saying, like I say, wave a flag or something, you know what I mean, so they can see
I'm down with y'all,
you know what I mean, because it's harder to try to make that stuff in the music, you know what I mean, but it's good to work with people, you know what I'm saying, somebody like Joel, who, you know what I mean, sit. And I think when I met him, Joe tried to freestyle for me for like 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna show you I can.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But people like that have the passion for rapping and you know what I mean, the talent for rapping, you just gotta try to let's put this, you know what I mean, let's put it the right way. Let's try to channel it. Let's put it right here. Let's find the focus. Let's find the direction. Let's find a way, because you know, hip hop now is more computer age to where people trying to find a way to go viral and make money. You know what I mean? And that's dope. You know, it's fine, it's great, you know what I mean, because it's avenue, because I mean, you know, I'm older, I'm 36, so I can remember a time for me.
I say older, 36.
Yeah, I know.
I'm 35, I'm like right there with it.
I know, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, you just think about the way that you had to grind, right? And for me, I came right in, like right after ringtones, right at the beginning of iTunes, you know what I mean? So it wasn't, and streaming wasn't really a thing. YouTube was kind of like, YouTube was bottom feeder. You know what I mean? Like if you was broke, you was doing YouTube. You know what I mean? Like if you had it, you was doing some type of spectacular way to, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like it was all, and now YouTube is
it.
It's a new television.
You know what I mean? It's TV. You know what I mean? And it was almost that. And then blogs weren't even a thing. You know what I mean? I swear, I promise to you, and I gotta say this because I got him with me. My homie, is he back there? Nick, you still there? Yeah. Okay, my homie, him, like when podcast first started, him, he's from the north side, and my other homie was from the south side. I had this idea for them to do a podcast. I think, what was that? 13? We hadn't had our masters yet. Cause we 13. Yeah, because we didn't have a masters yet.
14.
14?
13, 14.
13, 14. So we didn't have a message. And I was giving them ideas for podcasts. Podcasts weren't even a thing yet. You know what I mean? And they tell me every day now, like, however many other, man, we should have did that. We should have did. But I'm just saying, and that was just my era. So you know what I mean? Like, when you're trying to create music and you're trying to do different things, you got to try to find your lane. And I told Joe, I think this particular lane and the passion that he actually has for it, because just like you said, he living it more so. You know what I mean? Even if he got popping on, you know, anything else, like if he turned, you know, Jelly Roll route, you know what I mean, something like that, Post Malone, he would still find a way to be doing it. You know what I mean? If he was giving an award speech, he'd give a 30-minute award speech about, you know, it was a kid that was missing it. You know what I mean? He'd give one of those.
He gonna get it out. He gonna get it out. He gonna bring
one of those type of awards that has nothing to do with accepting the award and being happy about it. So you know what I mean? Like, it's good to find people like that and try to help them, push them in the direction where they need to go. And luckily, you know, it's been working, and it's been working. You know what I mean? Like, it's been effective. Just, you know, it's been raising awareness, been helping out people, like you said, providing a safe space, you know what I mean, for kids and for people in the Central Texas area in which he stays in, you know, right there in the New Braunfels, San Marcos, you know, San Antonio area. So, I mean, and it is just expanding, it's growing, you know what I mean, every day. And I try to encourage them to believe that it's going to grow, and it's going to believe it's going to be a thing. You feel me? You know what I mean? I want it to become fashionable.
I think it will, because in any movement like this, there are people who are just as passionate about it as you are, but they just don't know where to go. They don't have no, like, what do we cling on to? They floating by themselves. So somebody has to be the one to take the initiative to spark it, and then all of a sudden, people who would like mine, they'll start gravitating.
I told him in 10 years it'll be 10 rappers just like it. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And in 20 years it'll be 20, 30, really out here rapping and spreading because they listened to somebody that wasn't afraid.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
To
right.
really say it, because like you said, a lot of time the bottom dollar don't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for Joe, it's not about the bottom dollar. It's about actually saying it and somebody hearing it and being like, whoa.
What did unleash you in terms of like the fear, like for a time when you held it in, like, man, I don't want to get out, but there was a turning point to say, okay, man, I ain't scared.
There was a place called Pathways.
Yeah.
So the irony in it is there's a place called Pathways. In 2017, it's created by Dr. Phil and his dad.
Yeah.
It's like this 6-month thing, except it's dragged out over 6 months. You leave and you go in a hotel and you tuck away with a group of people, like 30, 40 people, and you're gone for like 5 days at a time with them, and you do all this training. It's like, if you're an addict, they kick you out. If you cry too much, they kick you. If you make too many excuses, they kick you out. It's kind of tough, actually. At first time I went through it, I thought it was like a cult thing. I was like, y'all are freaking weird. And I was setting up shows with Zero and Slim Thug at the time. I was on top of the world, and I was like, no, everything that happens to me is my fault, and I'm living life. And they're like, yeah, you got it. And they just sent me on my way. But the second time I went through, I really participated.
Yeah.
And I realized along the way, they start taking you to these games that make you access the things you went through as a kid, and next thing you know, everyone in the room could benefit from it. When you go back to the original traumas, I mean the simple traumas, as early as being told, when you see somebody in a wheelchair go by and you point a finger at them, you say something to your mom about it, and your mom pops your finger and says, "Don't do that." That's a trauma that gets locked into your brain, whether you know it or not. Your kid is being turned off in that moment. So you can imagine what a real trauma does to you, right? So when you participate at those levels and you wind up in a group full of people you've been practicing for 6 months with, and you go back to life and you come back for a weekend, and you go back to life and come back for a weekend, I found myself in a safe place. I did. I found myself in a spot where I realized I was with a girlfriend that was going absolutely nowhere. I was living homeless in the back of a bus. I'd come back from my second tour. I was on top of the world. I'd smoked with Snoop Dogg and freestyle while Flea was playing bass in the other room and didn't even know it was him. But I had nothing to come home to. I had 2 children looking for a dad. I ain't seen them in 9 months. I didn't have a home. I was essentially homeless.
Right.
What was it worth? All the money spent on the road, what was I doing with myself? Well, Pathways brought me to myself. I realized, let's get away from the latching on to something that reminded me of my mom and the addictions, because I refused to be an addict. If I was a crack addict, I couldn't have made it here. And then it was time to just focus on me, which meant, well, Pathways gives. I came up with a life plan. It's like I wrote out a 2-year plan, a 2 to 10 year plan for my life that was very detailed. That's what you're doing the whole time.
Right.
And that was to build a business, to create my own income, invest in my own music as I go, make sure that my children both have their own rooms. They don't miss a meal, a dollar. They have the same table. And I'm about to finish paying my mortgage off. I got like 8 payments left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's my first, it was just an 8-year mortgage, but it's about to be paid off.
Right.
And in the process, I've accomplished all of this to go with it. And all I did was continue talking about what happened to me as a kid from that place in Pathways,
Right.
which I was still scared to come out of there and talk to it about with the people around me, but slowly found courage. And what really inspired me was I'd written this song called Amber Alert, and I'm talking about all the major people, the major players, all the way up to look up John Podesta's art collection, right? That'll sicken you. And
Wow.
yeah, that'll sicken you. That's
We're
all.
gonna put his name on the screen. Okay.
John Podesta. Look up his art collection. Google that. It's not art. Anyways, I met this man named Jason Frank. God bless him. He starts telling me about all this stuff that's going on. It turns out it's with the Q thing, which is strange to me. But at the end of the day, they believe the government's involved in pedophile rings, and they got a lot of proof to back it up. And this dude's showing me these things. And next thing you know, he's like, "You wrote this song, Amber Alert?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's part of a big film to tell my own story and this how it's going on around." He's like, "No, you have to release this. People need to hear this, like right now." I was like, "All right," so I released it. I don't even say the word Amber Alert in the damn song. It's supposed to be the whole name of the whole film, you know? And it's like, even now we're working on a film, Surviving Andre. We'll get there in a minute. That ties into all of this. And it's
Let's go into the film.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay,
Tell
so
us about the film.
So, as you said, a movement like this will naturally pick up a lot of people that want to participate and want to help, but don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say is when I was in the studio with my guy Rock Ali. Shout out RockAliBeats.com. I was in the studio with him. I'm not gonna say his name. He's writing his verse to the remix for Amber Alert, and after he gets out of the booth, he starts crying. And this man has been through prison. He's my brother. We grew up together. He used to beat me up at the bus stop because I was too weak until I fought back one day. Then we were cool. And he starts crying. He's like, my grandmother used to stroke me off under the blankets. I've never told nobody. He's sitting in the studio with me. Rock's over there. These guys, a grown man bawling his eyes out in front of me, and I realized how powerful what we're doing is. Wow. You know what I mean? Now, this is a thug. You know what I mean? This is a thug. Like, and I'm like, okay. So we just keep moving forward. I've had lots of experiences like that, and what I found is that it also attracts scammers. Lots and lots of scammers. Yeah. Just like a name like yours on Facebook. If you're not careful, scammers will pop up and try to act like you. And try to talk to you.
That ain't nothing abnormal.
Right. Well, some of these scammers are very intelligent.
Yeah.
Some of these scammers, like Andre Van, for instance. I used to work with a kid named City Boy Streets. I helped sign him. I was participated in getting him signed as road manager to Bone Thugs and Harmony through Flesh and Bone, specifically. Andre Van came into the picture at that time, and he was presented to all of us as the son of Jermaine Jackson. Yeah. He was down here to do a viral video shoot, viral videos from Michael Trapson. I don't know if y'all remember Michael Trapson. He was down here for all that.
Yeah. Michael Trapson, that's so...
I might be thinking about the comedian Michael Blackson. I might be getting my wires might be...
Nah, it was Michael Trapson. Nah.
No, I'm saying me, I was...
I wouldn't just you saying it, I can remember that whole thing. It just blows my mind to remember.
To go all the way back to it. I mean, it's a full circle thing. That's why, and I didn't realize what was happening then. All I know is I had taken him on, I was managing City, he comes in the picture, he's this kid at Jermaine Jackson. Now he's using my contacts to open the doors. Now we're sitting with Matthew Knowles, we're sitting at Beyonce's studio, the House of Darion here in Houston. We're doing all these interesting things. And then he goes to prison. And it's like for a bad deal, $80,000. News starts saying he was scamming people. I left it alone. I didn't talk to him for 4 years. He goes to prison. He comes out. I'm in the middle of working on all this. I've got this lady named Lisa Lopez. Elisa Aguilar, I think is her real name. She's probably the worst scammer of them all. Again, it attracts a lot of weird people. This is a lady I trusted like my grandma at the time, or my mom. My kids called her Grandma Lisa. It was Andre calls me out of prison, wanting to talk to me, wanting to make music, wanting to become involved. Lisa, I trust her with everything. She's like, hey, let me go talk to him. And I was like, all right, I trust you. Well, in the process, I'm writing articles on a lot of these people that are involved in some of this crazy stuff. You know, like Laura Gaylor. You ever heard of the name Laura Gaylor Silsman? She is the vice president of a company called Alert Sense. Alert Sense holds the contract with the federal government for the Amber Alert system in your phone. She was arrested January 29, 2010 in Haiti with 30 children that she was trafficking.
Wow.
At the end of the day, she weaseled out of it by stating that she was arrested, or it was illicit. She agreed to illicit travel, which you can only imagine what that might mean doing to a kid to get out of a trafficking charge. But this is the vice president of marketing behind it. So I'm writing articles on the people connected to him, and one of them happens to be John Walsh. Wow. Right? And next thing you know, Megan Walsh is in my inbox. His daughter.
You're talking, America's Most Wanted?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Next thing you know, his daughter is in my inbox. Okay. And she's wanting to talk to me, you know, and I didn't trust nobody. I've already got real trust issues. My first time putting my face on this. I've already been through the death threats and everything. I'm kind of nervous doing this, all real. So I sent Lisa to talk to her too. They're both in Florida. Lisa goes to Florida to meet them, and it wasn't until way later on that I figured out she connected everybody. Andre scammed Megan, had a baby with her, and then Lisa comes back and starts to try to make Andre everything 1009, and I was kind of letting it happen because Lisa had convinced me to use my name to turn it into an organization, a non-profit organization. She said she was going to build safe houses for kids in foster care that are being abused, like what I went through. You know, a place that could step up to the state. You know, where do you take the kids from CPS, right, that need help from CPS? So they used my name, and they had this idea, and it was beautiful, and I thought it was beautiful until I found out they were just pocketing all the money. There was no non-profit. It was all fake. Then I found out years later, he offered her 30 grand to take over my name. And not only that Surviving Andre, he's used my name, he's used Megan Walsh's name, he used Donald Trump's name, he's used fake itinerary schedules. I've got a fake $9 million contract with Donald Trump's fake signature on it. all for people that are trying to help kids, thinking I'm the guy here in Texas that's rescuing children. Dude, I'm a carpenter. Look at these hands. I'm a carpenter. I've cut my fingers off and put them back on to keep paying my bills.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, over $750,000 has been taken in my name by a man named Andre Van, using my name and all these people I just mentioned, and that those people that got scammed are now standing around me saying, "Well, we wanted to work with you to begin with."
Yeah.
So now I'm here doing my best to work with them to put this film together, and I'm waiting to hear from Busy Bone. Y'all know Busy Bone.
People always know how to pull the heartstrings of the people. They know if there's children involved or some kind of charitable situation or some kind of illness. They know that can be something that can draw people.
They can manipulate it.
And the messed up part about it is that the victims, not the children themselves, of course they're the ultimate victims, but the advocates, the people who try to help them become victims, because you were under the illusion that these people are just as passionate about it as you are.
Amen.
And all they thinking about it is,
and it's an illusion.
You know?
And that's all it is, an illusion. And you have people like this guy, Andre Van, who now that in November, I'm not going to say any names until the film comes out, and those who are willing to speak their story are given the opportunity to do so correctly. But when she came to me and she showed me this private relationship between the two of them to show me what was happening, and I saw his character first. You know, I don't deal with men that hit women. I don't deal with men that threaten children. I don't deal with people that do the death threats. I grew up in the projects. I've seen some of the nastiest things and the nastiest people alive, and I don't put up with it. I don't care who you are. And when I separated it, in the period of separation of 3 months, I started really paying attention. And he got really nervous, and he started making these erratic posts online, and I didn't know what it was, saying he's got a Super Bowl commercial coming and a $2.5 million contract. I'm like, what is this all about? So on Super Bowl Sunday, I decided to break my silence and told my entire audience of people who he's been using, who I found out we made music together. And we made the charts together. We made number 9 on the iTunes charts together. That's how far up we went with it. Found out he was faking his iTunes charts placement, buying iTunes cards, having people, and blackmailing people to do this, creating these relationships with these women, getting these pictures from them, and then putting them in these positions of death threats and threats to be exposed in a way to do it's disgusting. And my biggest survivor is a nurse practitioner who didn't participate in any of it. She was literally just believed that he was doing for the kids, and somehow we were a big thing involved, and she just was eventually going to get her money back. That's all she at best wanted, because it got so deep and it turned into something that's, well, now it's exposed him for what he really is.
This sounds like an American Greed episode.
It's really bad.
Let me ask you this: so this is a film or a documentary?
It's a little bit of both. We're kind of moving in both directions. Right now, it's 100% independent.
When is it coming out?
I don't have a date for you at the moment. Right now,
is it done already?
No, it's not done already. It's we're in production. I'm still in writing at the moment. June 14th, we're going to Richmond, Virginia, to meet him in court. We're moving forward on a $500,000 settlement. He's already admitted in 3 different places in writing that he took the money. Right. So we believe with a settlement should move forward. The documents that I sent you in an email are the same documents that Brother Matlock, his dad's a screenwriter, working on a. Can I say the name?
Let's bring the parachute man in.
Yeah, this is the guy right here.
What's your
this is the guy.
Role and connection into the whole?
I met Joel about 10 years ago, back in 2014, like I said, in the trunk of a car, jumping out and then coming back and introduce myself.
Go ahead.
I really want to know this trunk story, man.
Almost, right?
Tell him about the South Texas Historical Paranormal Society. That's where it all really starts.
Yeah, that's where it all started, through toe dropping media. I decided to hop on with Dakota and Donovan and Joel for the whole Paranormal Society. And I kind of got into it. I did a couple investigations with them, and I want to keep going. And
I ran a media company, ran some paranormal chasers.
I was on Ghost Adventures.
Well, yeah, we actually did follow the Ghost Adventure people and the Magnolia Hotel. We were following their actual footsteps. It's funny you say that. Well, the only thing that I found riding along with these guys to the park, I pulled up, and what I thought were a couple of crackheads pulled up on them all fast, wanting to fuck with them, and And then next thing you know, they're running off, and I was like, hey, and then everybody around was like, what are you doing, Joel? I was like, I'm gonna go mess with these crackheads. Like, don't go over there. And I'm like, well, it's fine, whatever. And they're like, no. And my buddy grabs me, Dakota grabs me. He's like, dude, it's a drop off. There's a river there. There's nowhere for anybody to go. What are you saying you saw? And I'm over here goofing off. I think it's funny. I swear I saw crackheads to this day. They were lighting up. I saw 2 of them, big old clear pipes. I know what a crackhead looks like. You see the charball going. You know what I mean? Like, boy, I know what I was looking at. And they woo. Like roaches in the light. But everybody around me said it wasn't real.
So what he's saying is ghosts smoke crack.
You know, that's I guess so. You know what I mean? Where I come from. So look, hey, I was a kid born to crack addicts, man. At the end of the day, I got a history. There's a song called "Come and Listen Close" with Free Rick Ross. But you know, Matlock here, he's helped participate in so much, man.
Let me ask you this.
You go ahead.
Matlock's the guy, man.
Yeah,
I got him introduced with Kevin Sorbo so that way he could send the document to Donald Trump
Hercules.
because
Hercules. We met with Hercules, met with John Schneider.
Yeah.
John Schneider because of him.
Bo Dick from
John
Dukes of
Schneider,
Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Man, this guy walked up.
Eric
to me.
Estrada too, huh?
Yeah, Eric
called him
Estrada.
one-
Yeah, we
I
got
called
those
him-
schools.
all these-
Chips, the Dukes of Hazzard.
Let me show you something.
I
Let me show you
called
something.
him-
Check this out, baby. This is actually cool. I don't show people my face or anything at all, so I keep all these little things to myself. Like me and Flip got a little freestyle the other day for the kids and everything. Ain't show nobody.
Yeah.
So I don't put my face on the internet. You know,
I
I
called
guess we're about to break that
him
now.
the day
Huh?
before. I said, "Hey, you want me Kevin Sorbo tomorrow?"
Yeah, look. Yeah, check this out. I don't know if I guess I can send this to you.
Yeah, send it to us.
Yeah, you can send it to Keystone.
It's just 26 seconds, but
Sound good.
it's me. He just walked up and he knew my name.
I did.
That was wow.
Oh, because I heard your song last night. Your song is great. I heard one of them. I'm sure there's a bunch, right?
There are. We've got a bunch coming out. We got a lot more we're working on. We've got Afro Man coming up on 420. We're helping take on the teachers that keep touching our kids too.
Cool.
Everything
Oh, you
we
got
can,
to.
man.
Got to. Somebody got to fight for the kids. Nobody in the system is, so that's good. Good for you.
Brother, God bless you.
Thank you, my friend.
Forged Donald Trump signatures. I've got FBI reports. This lady used to think I was a part of stealing her money. The reports even have my names in them at this point. I'm a character witness to it. We can't get anybody to give a damn. We're at $750,000 plus.
That's
Thank you.
just unaccounted for.
Oh no, it's accounted for,
Yeah.
and I'm aiming to get at least 500 of it back into to her hands because she deserves it.
Oh, so it's still
June
still in
14th.
play, huh?
June 14th, I'll be in Richmond, Virginia to testify. Absolutely, I don't care if people call me a snitch or not.
Yeah.
I'll stop anybody doing this, hurting people and stealing from the kids,
Yeah.
man.
Let me ask you this. I see so much passion and so much ideas. Has it ever came to the point yet to where you want to make this into some kind of movement, a non-profit?
It has, yes.
Because you have the soundtrack. I see the soundtrack to the movement already.
Well, and that's what the Busy
Yeah.
Bone comes in. You know, that's why Busy Bone was trafficked as a child. John Walsh was the person that rescued him. If I can get him to write a song with us, and Andre Van, that's a full circle. Consider Megan Walsh as a victim to his plays too, right? You see, at the end of the day, it's I originally reached out to that Lisa Lopez lady. She had convinced me we were going to turn this into a nonprofit. We were going to build an organization that was going to take on the foster care system to help protect kids that are being abused in foster care. Bro, that's like, and they pulled that out of, like they created that idea with me. It was really sad watching it all go apart. That hurt my heart.
I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking
really
about
hurt
this
my
as you're talking because it's like it kind of makes you understand how many young children have been just turned out and released into the world with that kind of trauma. That
Yeah.
come out of these foster care situations and
Even just their own homes.
Yeah, it definitely
Even just their own homes.
because CPS will take you out of they'll take you out of a good home. That's number one.
They'll take you out of a good home and put you
out of
into
a bad
a bad
situation
spot.
and
Put you
then
in a
they'll make
worse
the situation
into a
worse.
worse.
Yeah.
So, but at some point, these children are gonna be let out into the world once they get to a certain point. However they get out, they're gonna be out there. So now we got a society that's predominantly consistent of a lot of traumatized adults now who never have been healed from what they went through.
Why do you think there's a
That's
teacher
true.
getting arrested almost every day?
Yeah.
That's why the origins of the start of the podcast. The question: now, why are these teachers doing this? Well, I think we're looking at a society that's been groomed.
And like you say, you're dealing with a government who supports that.
Who does support it.
Pushes that.
You're absolutely
because,
correct.
Because see, this it's like one of those movies where you going through something, you're going through this dangerous situation, and you call the police, and the police shows up, and the police is on the side of the
Well,
people.
for instance, what's the age of consent in Texas? It's supposed to be 17.
I
It's
was
supposed
about
to
to
be
say
17.
18. I didn't know it was.
I agree it should be 18 as well.
Well,
but
I
it's
thought
17.
it was.
But did you know there's a loophole to it? Ask the La Luz del Mundo Church.
Yeah.
As long as your parents there, they can sign you off at 14.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how, as long as your parents allow it, so as long as we groom the parents inside of a cult, call it a church, and they're willing to sign their kids off at the age of 12 to begin the process, so by the time they're 14, they're already ready to be impregnated.
Yeah.
And the government and our local judges and constables are signing off on it because this is Texas state law.
Yeah. Wow.
Pedophilia is not even illegal.
And look, they're not just signing off on it because it's Texas
Think
state
about it,
law. You go,
I got head out my home.
bless it to you, Bone.
It's good seeing you, bro.
Alright, we done.
They're not just signing off
Say
on
about
it
it,
because it's
dialogue.
state law. Yeah. Give you a shout out.
Hey, everything on the map. You already know. Save the kids, save the children. It's a movement.
Save our children, save the children some Bill Gates nonsense.
Save our children.
That's right. That's important, real important.
What I was gonna say is that, in my opinion, they are signing off and letting that pass because they are participants / agreeing with their lifestyle. You know, we would be surprised. Some wouldn't be, but a lot of people would be surprised to know how many of their leaders and politicians and celebrities and all that are really willing participants in that
Yeah,
lifestyle.
we call maturing candidates to go with it. You can look up some incredible names. Look up Kathy O'Brien. Look up Paul Bonacci. Look up MK Ultra. And how deep it really
MK
gets.
Ultra,
You know what I mean? Like it gets.
yeah.
Well, you know, and I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about it because Bone ain't here to stop me. But I was abused on camera. There's 5 grown men. They came in. They used toilet bowl plungers, and they had a camera that you hold with 2 hands. It's literally the same camera. They would set up these fights with us. It was the same camera. But I passed out to the pain. I didn't talk about this for years. They kept their clothes on, right? By the time I started speaking, I had the ability to divulge into it, understand, and try to figure out. And then I started realizing I'm like very thin on what happens out there. It's like not even that bad compared to what happens to other kids out there. And it's also not even that original.
And how old were you when that happened?
I was 12. It was my first night in the Longfellow group home in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yeah.
It was.
So let me ask you this: so when something like that happens in one of these, it's kind of like when you hear about people getting raped in prison and all that. It's I always wonder, like, where the guards at now?
Yeah.
Where's the
Well, see, that's
security?
the thing. I think
How
it
did that happen without nobody in the facility?
Well, see, it was Mr. Duval was the first person there, a very religious man. He wasn't in the room, but there was 5 grown men. I call them Carltons because they were all black people. And
they worked there.
They looked like they worked there, but I never saw them again. But you have to understand, CPS is huge. This is Longfellow Group Home. It's just one group home. There's another group home next door. There's group homes all over Baton Rouge. So it's CPS. It's foster care. It's like a whole industry full of kids that are just shuffling around. So they could have come from another facility. I don't know. That's my point. Is by the time I allowed myself to address it, because after it happened, I woke up and I saw the blood. I pulled up my pants. I didn't take my shoes off for 2 months. My feet turned to sponges. They used to make fun of me. They said I was faking my showers because I said I was getting sweaty from dodging the water. Because I go in there and throw water on my face and said I showered up. I got terrified. But by the time I started to address it, I started to realize what kind of grown men walk into a room, assault a child, don't take their clothes off, and keep a camera with them when they do it. Those are the kind of people that are walking into a blackmail video. Those are the kind of people that are walking into something because somebody presented them in front of something and said, you're going to do this before you go forward. That's all I could think of. Why else? Nobody was smiling. Nobody was laughing. This wasn't entertaining. It wasn't fun. Didn't last forever, at least that I'm aware of. You know, like what did exactly happen in there? And the only reason I know is the camera's just the same camera they would pull out when they make us fight. I used to fight for a pack of cigarettes. I wouldn't even get my cigarettes.
So if that happened to you, I'm certain that it happened.
It's happened. There's worse happening. The more all the way around us right now, and that's the reality of it. It's like, how do you stop it?
Yeah,
David,
that's the question. That's
how do you
why
stop
that's
it?
why I'm going. So with Save Our Children, what is there a plan in place or just some kind?
You're looking at the plan right now.
Well, I mean,
how can other
in
people
more
sign up?
detail,
Yeah.
to say these are some of the steps we're going to be taking towards trying to bring awareness.
Right now, the steps that I'm taking towards awareness is working on the music, piece by piece, and I'm slowly just putting this together. I would tell you all to jump on my social medias and follow me on Facebook, and you can do that if you want. Just type in Joel Hayes, and if my account's there, then it's there. But at the end of the day, it's erased constantly by Facebook. The day after they arrested FBI agent David Harris, FBI agent Ollie Sofan, the anti-terrorist task force leader, put out a whole report on me and everything I'm doing associated with QAnon and threw it off as some big conspiracy theory and erased everybody associated with me, all of their accounts, all their private Facebook accounts, and all their IP addresses online can no longer create Facebook accounts at their private homes. That's how much effort has gone into people like Facebook to keep people like me quiet. And it's like,
you just said Zuckerberg is funding the,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
pedophiles. So I guess that makes sense.
Those are his taxes for his company. $500,000 to the MAPS program, which is absolute disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, and anybody that thinks it is, you're on the other side.
And
of that table.
we're gonna pull clips of that to show, because I saw that on YouTube. I actually tried to look for that a couple of months ago, and I couldn't find it no more. So
a lot of stuff.
I wonder if they took it down.
They've been scrubbing so much.
No, they was actually promoting their pedophilia
agenda,
religion.
Yeah.
I use the term minor attracted person, or MAP, in the title and throughout the book for multiple reasons. First of all, because I think it's important to use terminology for groups that members of that group want others to use for them. And MAP advocacy groups like Before You Act have advocated for use of the term MAP. They've advocated for it primarily because it's less stigmatizing than other terms like pedophile. A lot of people, when they hear the term pedophile, they automatically assume that it means a sex offender. And that isn't true, and it leads to a lot of misconceptions about attractions toward minors. I've definitely heard the idea that you brought up, though, that the use of the term minor attracted person suggests that it's okay to be attracted to children. But using a term that communicates who someone is attracted to doesn't indicate anything about the morality of that attraction. And non-offending MAPs, by definition, do not abuse children, so their behaviors are moral.
Sexual orientation, just like, for example, heterosexuality. No one chooses to be a pedophile. No one can cease being one. The difference between pedophilia and other sexual orientations is that living out this sexual orientation will end in a disaster. Right now, most of us feel discomfort when we think about this scenario. And most of us feel discomfort when we think about pedophiles. But just like pedophiles, we are not responsible for our feelings. We do not choose them. But we are responsible for our actions. And we must make a decision. It is in our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles and to treat them with the same respect we treat other people with. We should accept that pedophiles are people.
They were basically just like, hey, well, you know, we
Facebook
like little boys
allowed,
and we don't see anything wrong. It was dope. They was out with it. Mm-hmm. But I saw a video on YouTube about it, and I was like, watching the whole time. But I tried. That was a couple of years, but I tried to find it again because I was having a conversation about it with somebody, and I couldn't find it in a couple months. So we either. You know, your skills are greater than mine. You like to find it.
But what I did see not too long ago is they going I think they went to court to try to actually say we should have our own thing, sort of like part of the LGBT.
Yeah, they want the plus at the end or something like that. Yeah, that's right. And that they've been using that to backdoor the way all the way through it. And unfortunately, in the LGBT community does not want to hear it, but the origins of their story come from people that did want to legalize and normalize pedophilia. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but it's not just isolated to them. See, it's a real problem, man. It's all the way across both sides of the bird. It affects this entire government, and none of them are innocent, man. It's like, and if it's a guilty by association thing, then the whole government needs to be just withdrawn.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
In the song we have.
I can say something.
Okay. Yeah,
you want to talk? Oh, okay.
Introduce yourself.
This is Kirsten.
My name's Kirsten. I met Joel because he likes to protest every Saturday.
I was rallying for the kids. Every Saturday I rally for the kids. I hold up flags from 11 to 1 at the Comal County Courthouse.
Okay.
I've been doing it for 4 years straight. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they definitely know you.
Yeah. People they don't like it. Some people don't like it.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, there's lots of that actually. Yeah.
Joel with the flag.
Hey, my man.
Joel giving them hell. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, so I was working at Child Protective Service at that time, and for the most part, they do try to rehabilitate the home before taking the child away.
Okay.
But you do sometimes get some social workers that are just cruel, unusual, unethical. And it's always what the social worker says above, the family, the parents.
Right.
There's no proof. The social worker doesn't need proof.
Right.
But going forward from that, I really think that when you send a child off to these foster homes, they're getting the funding for it, and then they go into a foster family, and the foster family gets all the funding to take care of that child. And
Money grab.
it's a money grab. So and you have this child that was taken away from this family that didn't have that money to support their child, didn't have the extra money to buy the child food, put the child in good clothes. So they would rather take the money away from within the home and give it to another home that could possibly cause more trauma to the child.
Essentially, you're saying some people lose their children just because they're poor, and while they're paying other people to take care of their other children, if they paid them to take care of their own children, maybe we can fix that. They can just stay at home.
And I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I want to shout out my sister in the Nation Islam, Sister Pamela Muhammad, because she's been a real strong advocate against that, because we were seeing a lot of black children just getting yanked out of homes, and it was like a hustle, like
it is,
get them, and when you said a money grab, it makes so much sense, because it's like, well, man, to take a child and just, sometimes those children look, I don't care how bad the situation is, I still want to be with my mama. I still want to be with my family. That's how a lot of those children are in this. So we're gonna just put you with this person, and then a lot of times that leads to the molestation and the abuse and all that.
It facilitates the environment.
Yeah, facilitates the environment, man. So this all these things that y'all are saying, it's like they're all tied on the string. They're all connected together.
It is.
Right, and then so if you go to foster, and then a lot of parents are, they don't want to give up their child, but they're okay with giving up their child because they get like educational funding, they get free things that normally the child wouldn't get if they stayed with their parents.
Do the child really get that?
They get free education, go to college. They could go to college for free.
Well, I was a foster kid. The mother of my oldest was a foster kid, and she still could go back to her doctorate level today. She's a nurse because of foster care, but she graduated. I ran away.
Because you know me, I'm gonna be, because I gotta keep it 1,000. It's under 100. At the end of the day, my mindset is always on what percentage of those children are actually gonna go through that to where they see college and all, because depending on the environment you come from, it's like you ain't going to college.
Not even capable of handling the book.
Sometimes the stuff you got to go through just to deal with being away from your mother, plus all that other stuff. Sometimes people pull drugs, alcohol, everything else on top of that, just to deal with that.
It's
and then you want to grow and go to college.
The percentages are still low. So the numbers are 89% of the children that disappear from the foster care system. Last year, 526,000 children under the age of 21 were reported missing, 320-some thousand under the age of 18. Of those 89% that were from foster care, it's stated that 10% are never going to be heard from again. So when you put the numbers up, it's like 14,000 to 52,000 kids last year that, according to the numbers in the National Missing Index, will never be heard from again, and 89% of them disappear from the foster care system and will be listed as a runaway. How do you know a child ran away if they don't show back up to tell you they ran away?
You just mark
I had the same situation when I was doing security.
I think that was back. Actually, that was the night of my accident when I hit that horse with my motorcycle.
He just jumped. I'm telling you, he needs his own podcast to keep up, man.
He met Joel in the trunk.
Now he's running into
He ran into a horse with a motorcycle.
This is so serious. This is so serious.
Man, you need your own episode, man.
Yeah, we got the Matlock special.
All right,
man.
so.
Oh man, yeah. Look.
So back to the story. So I had this I was working security at this apartment at Starburst in Orbit in Austin, and this little kid came up to me and said, "Hey, my sister's missing. My sister's missing." I went, "All right, So I started asking her around about, hey, have you seen this little girl? Have you seen this little? Let me get a picture of your dog or your little sister so I could show her around. And I started showing her around, and all of them said nah. And I was like, does she have any friends around these apartments that she possibly has? So I went out from door to door, and we had APD that showed up. Austin Police Department showed up, and they went over to what supposedly might be her friend's house, and then we spent roughly about 5 hours just waiting for APD, Austin Police Department, to show up, and they just go, and then after all that waiting, all asking her around, they seen this little girl and just come out and say, yeah, she might be a runaway. We're gonna go check at the school tomorrow and make sure she's there. And I was like, really? You're just gonna runaway?
The runaway thing, just a default thing. Okay, yeah. Mark it up as a runaway.
It's a procedure. Yeah. It's a procedural thing.
So are you still at CPS, or you done?
No, I was done. It's a systematic thing. It's not really about rehabilitating the home. I felt like it wasn't really about rehabilitating the home, but just a power struggle between trying to threatening families, with all these legal proceedings that they can't afford. A family that's making $35,000 a year can't afford a lawyer. The way our taxes, they go to these government agencies that throw the money at.
You can tell she has a master's. 35 a year is a lot. We live on less than 12.
But 35 is like 3,000 a month.
Yeah, well, growing up, that was a lot.
You got to stay in your pocket. You can't. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know exactly what you're saying. It's a money grab.
At 35,000, income, lower income homes, struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to survive. But where I was gonna go with the foster thing is that when they do background checks on teachers, because he's been saying how are all these teachers now coming out and all these teachers are coming out as pedophiles, and they're being arrested. Like one was arrested yesterday, I think I saw in the news, and he was like
from Roosevelt High School, San Antonio.
Family member of the NFL or something like that.
Oh, that was another one. Never mind. That was another one.
And it's like, okay, did they do background checks? Like, are these people coming from these foster homes? Like, where does it stem from? Because it's something in the mind, in the middle of the mind, that it's something in the mind that's stemming this culture.
It's recycling the cultures because we don't know, like I said, where people come from. Because a lot of times, even with a background check, you can say, okay, well, this guy, red flag. But I'm certain, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure there are many first-time offenders who had a clean slate as far as in the system-wise, but that was just a way that they were still thinking and ready to act on all along.
Man, it's terrible. You look around, it's the people you think that you trust the most, the ones that are ones that give you the problems. It is. It's the issue. I mean, I was about to paint a picture. When you walk into a foster home and you see it's a single dad and an 8-year-old boy, and the 8-year-old boy is wearing white clothes laid out on a beach, and they took a picture. Now this is a 6-foot picture on top of the mantle. Is that normal?
Yeah.
His name's David Becken, and that was the foster home they put me in before I was sent to the Longfellow group home. And that was the same foster dad at 12 years old that used to send us all out to the hot tub out back so we could sit in there, and taught us all how to smoke cigarettes, and the drapes were around it so the neighbors couldn't see in, and that's where I learned how to smoke. Yeah.
And some of these cats, they had a resources. They making good money. They have all the boxes checked, and they can just go out and adopt a child and get a child.
Buy them. Have you seen how disgusting foster care is? It gets to a certain point at a certain age where they put the kids on display, and people come show up, and they literally walk them out like a catwalk to decide if they're going to buy a child. And then they have like a return policy as long as you bring the kid back in 3 months and shit. If it doesn't work out, some of these kids go through like 3 or 4 forever homes. It's disgusting.
Now, keep in mind.
And then the kids are literally out there like,
we talking about everything that we've discussed up until this point is on a systemic level.
Yeah.
We haven't even got it to snatch him, ride by on a motorcycle, snatch him
I haven't even talked about forced kidnapping.
Yeah, we talking about within a structured, organized system where all of these
and we also
sick-minded individuals are functioning and operating.
We also haven't divulged with. I'm grateful you brought up is the satanic ritual abuse of it all, which is real just ritual abuse at this point. It's like it doesn't matter where you're hiding in it. It's just a ritual abuse. But yeah, it's disgusting. Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask. do the foster system have like, I want to say like yearly, where they go and evaluate? Because one day I mean like the numbers. Because I know I see a lot of shows and podcasts to where people are going out and interviewing the homeless, interviewing the people that's on the street. And like 90% of them all comes from like maybe like if they say they was in a foster care. Once they say they're from foster care, it's usually around about 85 to 90 saying they've been touched or some kind of rape
assault
or
in some kind of way.
So if I was the governor or the president or mayor or something, I would have to by this being said so many times and for so long.
There's statistics.
Shouldn't there be some kind of statistics to say how many people they go through those foster homes and like how many people here this, that, and the third, or is it covered up? Or because somehow or another they should be able to say like this is the number, this is the number. So how the hell am I not putting something in place to not make this happen next year or the next time?
That's the question that we all need to answer, because at the end of the day, I can sit here with y'all and we could talk about the awareness of it, and I pray and I'm pretty sure that y'all's minds are going to walk out here open to our conversations. But before these conversations, were y'all thinking about any of this? Are any of these real world situations placed closely enough in front of you that bother you enough to your soul to force you? Well, some people I can tell in your writing, I can tell in your writing, you've been close enough, no doubt about it. And it's not necessarily for y'all too, but it's on a grand level. Most people are too busy with the bread and circus. Most people are too busy with the nightlife. Most people have way too many things going on to want to think about it. And then one of the things Bone points out in his music is that a lot of people turn their heads to it and they don't want to hear it, because sometimes you're forced to have to accept this about people you don't want to accept this about. And you know, that's tough.
And that's a great point, because how many times have we heard the stories about the little girl who tells her mama that her mama's boyfriend coming in there messing with her, and the mama have been through so much trauma and low self-esteem that to where she like
wipes it off.
I don't believe it, or lashes out against her own.
What are you doing to make him
do that? So it's just a terrible cycle of that, man.
The disgusting irony, true story. My first love of my life. I'm not gonna say her name. She saw my face. She knows who she is. Her first name's Kristen, actually, not Kirsten, but Kristen.
You did say her name.
That was quick.
I didn't say her last name.
It's Jenkins.
Whatever. I was 16 years old, man. But the irony of it was, I found out later on that her stepdad was molesting her, was giving her off to her friends, his friends. And by the time she spoke up to her mom accused her of it to the point where it created a divorce in the family. And then by the time that I guess the stepdad figured out that he was about to get busted, he went and blew his head off in the garage, and mom still blamed little girl for it. Made her participate in the cleaning of blood.
Because mother had her own, she had her own, and that's how the cycle continued.
That's right.
I want to shout out to my homie Rough IQ, South Park Coalition. Years ago, we would have these conversations about like females or whatever, and every time if you would mention anything that a female may have said that was like off base, or like, man, she said something thrown off, or her behavior or something like that, his response every time would be, she probably been molested. So in the beginning we used to be like, man, shut up, man. Everybody ain't been molested. Now, fast forward. As time went on, you know, you talk to different females, you notice, and when they open up to you, man, if it's 10 of them, 8 of them gonna tell you. So many I thought back to my heart. I said, man, you know what? He was right. Because we dismissing it like, man, you could say, yeah, man, her knee been bumped. She probably got molested. So it's like, dude, it made me understand how prevalent this really is.
It is.
I mean, it's sad, man. It's heartbreaking. It's like, and these are males and females that are functioning in society every day the best they can. They working on jobs. They raising children. Yeah, just
27. I was 15 years. I spent over half my life silence, thinking that I not only was I silenced, but I put myself around some of the most dangerous people I could to try to fight what I was battling inside. I'm serious. Instead of, admitting, hey, dude, you were raped by some people, let's go hang out with thugs that carry guns close to them. This would never be.
You might have been trying to overcompensate to prove my masculinity. I gotta be a man.
That's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. And I found myself in situations where, what the hell am I doing? I'm talking about people are getting hurt around me. I'm now a possible person in this crime. I have nothing to do with it. I'm not a violent person. Why am I putting myself in these spots? And it's all because, like you said, I want to overcompensate, but because something in me told me I had to be stronger than that night. I couldn't tell nobody about it, and it could never happen again.
It could never happen again. That's what I was about to say.
You know what I'm saying? And it could never happen again.
Well,
and now it can never happen again to nobody else.
Let's say this as we wrap up, y'all. Look, and I don't want to make this sound like a PSA, but I guess it is. You know, if anybody is going through this, man, the main thing that I got from Joe's story is to not have fear, to not be afraid, to have enough courage. I mean, to speak out and let somebody know, or just act on it in the way you're supposed to act. Don't feel like you gotta suppress it and hold it and keep it to yourself, because there are people out there that will help. I don't care how many people you may have told, if you didn't suppress it, that didn't help. Keep going till you find the one that will.
And who helped you again?
Man, I was at a place called Pathways. It was created by Dr. Phil and his dad, and it was like 30 or 40 people all together, huddled over a period of 6 months, and we would go in. The first one was 5 days, and we went back to life for a month, and then you come back to do like a whole weekend, and then you come back. It's like a whole drawn out process. So it was not an easy thing for me to come to by any stretch of the means. I had to feel absolutely safe in my environment.
Well, we could talk about this for really all night, man.
We
could
could
wrap it up. And anything else you want to mention before?
Caleb Harris, man. Dottie Laster is a human trafficking rescue specialist that we work with. This is one of her current cases. This man just walked off into life, disappeared. We don't know what's happened. There's a large reward for anybody that wants to try to chase money to help find a kid. There you go. That's a good reason to do it, but that shouldn't be the only reason you have to. Caleb Harris, hashtag Caleb Harris.
Much love, man. We want to thank y'all for coming on, man.
Yeah, this is deep, man.
Yeah, bringing awareness, more awareness to this, and actually just reinvigorated it in the minds of people who, like I said, we own it, but we not own it like y'all are on it. So we appreciate you, Kirsten, for your work. And my man right here, who just he might rustle alligator tomorrow.
Hey, it's probably coming too.
Yeah, before they go though, let them know where they can find you. Let them know where if they want to help.
He might not want to know.
Let them know that they can help. They can help donate.
More importantly, if you want to do any of those things, Surviving Andre is where it's all at. SurvivingAndreFilm.com. We do have a 1-800 number. If you have a story, even if it has nothing to do with Andre and you just need your story to be heard, you can call our staff. It's 1-800-687-0760. That's again 1-800-687-0760. Leave your detailed message. Somebody will get back with you. You can surviveandandrefilm.com. Start there. You'll find me there. That's where it really will start at. Everything else is just...
Now give me a home address.
Hey man, you can find me.
Don't do it. He might say it.
Comal County. Comal County. Catch me.
Don't say it.
Comal County Courthouse. I'm there 11 to 1. It's Saturday. Every Saturday, unless I'm doing an event elsewhere. You know, then you will. And I'm real easy to spot. I got my flag in here, man.
Well, thank y'all again.
Thank you for having us, man. God bless you.
Hey man, it's the Underground Dialogue Podcast. We go places where other folks won't go.
That's a fact.
For whatever reason. So, you know, we're going to bring as much attention to this as we can, because it's happening to somebody right now. It's happening to somebody's child. And it's an adult, bunch of adults somewhere who never got over theirs, never healed from it. So
there's somebody out there that just needs to know they're not alone.
Without a doubt. Underground Dialogue Podcast, where the name speaks for itself. It's your big brother, K. Reno.
And your boy, Key Stowe.
And we are out. Man, it's your big brother K. Reno, and check this out, man. The Underground Dialogue Podcast is offering advertising opportunities, man. You can promote your business, you can promote your video, your song, whatever it is that you have, man. Reach out to us if you're interested in promoting on the Underground Dialogue Podcast. All you got to do is email us at undergrounddialoguepodcast@gmail.com. Get it. And man, look, we got some merch that's just gonna blow y'all mind. It's gonna blow y'all. When y'all see the merch, y'all gonna be wanting to just dive through the screen.
We got some coming, baby, man. We building, man. We building. So watch that grow already.
I wonder if they ready. They ain't ready to have this conversation. Or these kind of conversations. But guess what? We gonna have them anyway. Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are. Do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are. Do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. From the industry to the Oval Office, we expose the darkest motives of them all and disclose what the protocol is. Thinking and moving logical, stopping every maneuver possible, and apologizing for truth is not optional. We gon' help you with what you go through, reshape and mold you, and sweep over them weak lies they told you. If you living with no clue, we gon' deprogram the old you, and you get to keep your soul too.